All right, welcome everybody to Learning Over Lunch, the 2017 Ask Resource Center webinar series. And today's presentation is Mentor Relationships, a Meaningful Win for Everyone, with our guest presenters from Texas Parent to Parent. Parents from an established network at Texas Parent to Parent program are going to share their experience participating in a mentor matching program with us today. And that will be moderated by Paula Connolly here at Ask Resource Center. Today we have with us, and I'm about to switch screens so you can see them. There we go, and I'm going to wait for it to turn green so I know everybody can see our folks. Whoops, bear with me.
There it is.
There we go. We have with us Cindy Green, Martha Aguilar, and Melissa Fox from Texas Parent to Parent. I'm going to turn the presentation and the moderating over to Paula Connolly.
We're going to give Cindy a moment to share some history of Texas Parent to Parent. Then she's going to invite parents who have had the experience of being in a mentor relationship, and they're going to tell us a bit about their story and their lived experience. Welcome, Cindy.
Actually, this is Melissa, and I will tell you a little bit about Texas. That's okay. We probably switched up on you. Texas Parent to Parent is a nonprofit, statewide nonprofit in Texas. We serve the entire state of Texas. We help families find the resources they need and get that emotional connection. There's nothing like hearing it from a parent who has been there and done that and lived through it. You can get a lot of the same information from a professional, but it's nothing like hearing it from somebody who's lived it. When my son was born, well, almost 26 years ago now, I contacted what was a local organization then, and they put me in connection with another family. But here at Texas Parent to Parent, we are a staff of about 24 part-time and full-time employees. We started with basically a group of moms sitting around a kitchen table saying, this is something that we need to do. And that was in 2001, and it was just a local organization then. And in 2004, they decided to go statewide, and we have had conferences now, 14 statewide conferences, and we also do 3 regional conferences around the state for families who can't travel. When you call Texas Parent to Parent, you actually get a parent on the phone. We are all parents of children who have a disability or special health care need. I have a son with Down syndrome and a son with attention deficit disorder and anxiety issues. Cindy has a daughter with autism, and well, I'll let Cindy tell you later. But anyway, we all have children with special health care needs. You want us to go into our personal stories at this point?
She's asking a question. Yes. Yes.
Yes, okay. As I said, I have a almost 26-year-old son with Down syndrome. When he was born, I knew nothing about Down syndrome, so I called the local organization we had then, and they put me in contact, or put a parent in contact with me, who had a child who was 3 years old who had Down syndrome, and she actually came up to the NICU to meet us, and that was really nice. My son didn't have a long stay in the NICU. It was about 18 days, but there's nothing like leaving the hospital and leaving your child there. That's just not right. And my older son, who I always thought of as my typical child, I actually had a lot more time in the school's office. My younger son, who actually has Down syndrome. My son Justin is 29. and he was diagnosed with attention deficit disorder when he was in elementary school. As a younger child, about 3 or 4, he stuttered, and as he's grown up, I've decided that it's just a sensory processing issue, the stuttering, the processing of getting what's in here out on paper, and organization. As an adult, it manifests more as anxiety. So as a 29-year-old young man, he takes medication for anxiety issues, and it's helped. Definitely helped.
Melissa, can you give us a couple examples of how you have used a mentor? What kinds of information or support you were seeking, and then talk a little bit about how that felt to make that first call.
Oh, well, like I said, when Matthew was born, I didn't know anything about Down syndrome, so that was my first contact with a mentor, and that was very helpful. I was able to ask Bonnie, who was my mentor, questions and see that it was going to be okay. It was not a big deal. But as time went on and my son entered school and we had issues at school, I had mentors to help with that. And then there was behaviors, puberty hitting, some obsessive compulsive type behaviors. That helped a lot. I've had probably officially about 4 or 5 times I've reached out for a mentor over the years. And like I said, my son is now 25, he'll be 26 next month, and my older son is 29. So I've actually reached out for both of them, some assistance with just some guidance that I needed. How you just feel overwhelmed and you don't know where to turn, and you talk to a friend and the friend wants to be helpful, or a family member wants to be helpful, but they just don't have that experience. And you want to talk to somebody who has been through that or something similar. So that's my experience with mentors. And I have also helped people over the years too as the mentor. I've been able to share my experiences and just let people know it's going to be okay. We can get through this.
That's wonderful, Miss Melissa. Thank you for that. And I was just also going to comment that so often that's people's experience. They call and they ask for a mentor, and then find that they get to the place where they feel that they in turn can help another family. And that's truly what this program is about. Families helping other families with similar experiences. I know you have some other people that you'd like to introduce who's also going to share a bit about their personal story and their experience.
Yes. Hi, my name is Marta Aguilar.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I am a parent. I have 3 kids. My 2 boys, one a 15-year-old, 12-year-old, and I have a 10-year-old girl with Down syndrome. 10 years ago, I lived in south part of Texas. That's McAllen, Texas. And so we did not have enough information or resources over there. Now I work for Texas Parent to Parent as part of the family support team. And what I wish as a parent is that back then I had a parent match. How do I think it helps? Well, when you have a parent match, it's somebody that is going to validate your feelings. That's, I think, the first thing that you need as a parent, somebody that tells you that whatever it is you're feeling, because we all go through different emotions. So whatever you're feeling, that it's okay to feel that way, and that is not going to be a permanent state of mind. Somebody that can be a guide to you, tell you what to do, what not to do, but not force you to do anything you don't want to do. Somebody that can give you hope, that can tell you that things are going to be okay, that it is okay that you're feeling scared, but there's a lot of help and resources out there for you. So this is very, very important. Somebody that can give you resources, and just a friend, somebody that you can talk to and that you're not going to feel like they're judging you. Somebody just that can totally understand what you're feeling. It is true what Melissa said about friends and family. They really have the best intentions, but when it comes to a child with a disability, really as much as they want to understand what you're going through, they can't. So it is much better to speak to a parent that is going or has gone through the same stages that you have. For me, in this point of my life, it is crucial to start talking to parents that have kids that have gone through transition, because I'm starting to go into that stage right now. So like Melissa said, it's not a one parent match. It's a thing that is going to continue through the years. First, the first stage when you get a diagnosis, because my girl got a diagnosis when she was born, so that was easy for us. But there are parents that they don't get a diagnosis until their kids is 2, 3 years old, maybe when they're 6 years old, and that's very, very hard. So so then you need a parent mentor there, but then when it's going to be transition time, and then when they need a place to live, and then when they become adults. So it is a thing that it's a continuous thing for the parent and the child. And so this is a wonderful experience to work in Texas Parent to Parent, because I can be a mentor to somebody else, but I can also get the help that I need and that I'm going to be needing the rest of my life probably.
Thank you. I've got a couple questions I wanted to ask. Wearing your hat as one of the people that work for Texas Parent to Parent, can you share a little bit? Have you seen relationships that have gone beyond the mentor, where you find people sharing that it's been several years and they're still in contact with one of the mentors?
Yes, we have. I think all of us here have kept, not with all of them, of course, but maybe there's 1 or 2 people that we kept in contact. Like I said, this is an ongoing process. So sure, maybe not speaking every day, but yeah, coming back to us, yeah, that is very common thing to do.
That's great. So the second question I had is, we know that having a child with disability, special health care need impacts the entire family. Can you share a little bit about the stories you've heard of, and even in your own experience, how, although as a parent you're getting the mentor help, but how did that impact your family as a whole?
Well, actually, now that you mentioned that, we do have a program for siblings. It's a SIP shop, and we provide that to families on every conference that we have. On the one-day conferences that we do, and then on the state conference, we provide a SIP shop, and that is an excellent resource for every family, because that is a place where the siblings go and they can express how they feel about living with a brother or sister that has a disability. It is a great experience, and it's all about them. And it's about how they feel, and it's also about validating how they feel. In my case, my 2 kids have been able to handle the situation pretty well, especially because they are the oldest. So in my experience, siblings become more kind, understanding, patient. That's what we see in almost all cases here. Like, siblings become better persons because they have a brother or sister with a disability.
Thank you. I've had similar experiences with my own family. I will go ahead and let you introduce your next family.
Yes, thank you.
Hello, I am Cindy Green. I am mom to Peyton, who is 23, and Gavin, who is 15. And Peyton has just started off at 6 months of age. We had a normal birth and everything. At 6 months of age, she started having severe seizures. So that was my first onset of doctors and medications and seizures. I didn't know anything about epilepsy, what that entailed, what that would mean for her lifelong. So as a new parent, I was very overwhelmed. Family, they just didn't understand. I really needed to talk to another family that had a kid like Peyton so that I knew as a mom that I was doing everything that I could. I learned to be a really strong advocate for Peyton by getting encouragement from other parents who understood what it was like and how overwhelming it was. I was the primary caregiver. I was home all the time. I didn't get much time to myself, so I was always wrapped up in caring for Peyton. So once I started talking to other families and getting support from other families who had kids a little bit older than Peyton, who could encourage me, share resources with me, and just let me know that at the end of the day it was going to be okay. It was empowering to me as a parent to continue to learn more about epilepsy, what that can mean long term. As both Melissa and Marta had explained, it was multiple times throughout Peyton's life that I continued to look for support from other families. You know, it can be milestones, that there were milestones that she didn't hit and I didn't understand why. So talking to other families who could share that same experience, that, you know, they'll get there, it just might be a little bit delayed, was helpful for me as a mom, because I wanted to make sure that I was doing everything that I needed to for Peyton. So just having that encouragement that it's going to be okay, as both of the ladies I think talked about, there was hope. There was hope that she was going to be okay. And as a parent, I was going to be okay. Let's see. So I also have, I will tell you, I also have my son who is 15. He has severe anxiety. So I've learned a lot and actually am currently getting mentor support from other families on what does that look like. Having a teenage boy, I knew about Peyton and kind of had a grasp on, now she has autism, intellectual disabilities, but mental illness was a whole new thing. So trying to find support for that. Wow. And I'm gonna cry.
And that's okay. Having that moment, I know my first mentor experience, it felt like just a big hug. We weren't in the same room, and after having a chance to ask some questions, share, I think people have said it well, it's that hope for the future, and it just felt like a big hug and a sigh on my part that someone was walking a similar journey as I. Is there anything you can think of, Melissa, that you might want to share that we haven't covered, keeping in mind that I was beginning the journey of building their parent-to-parent program?
Well, I was going to say it just helps decrease the isolation. Just knowing that there's somebody out there who understands, like Marta says, just having somebody who can validate your feelings to let you know, it's okay to feel how you feel. You feel how you feel. You can't help it. And it's just that we all have that need. And I have had parents who, say, I just need to vent. I just need to talk to somebody and get this out, and not have somebody try and fix it or give their advice. Just let me get it out. I have had those moments myself where I just needed to vent.
And I think something we haven't touched on is that the reason we asked Texas to come this morning and present, and they so generously jumped in, is that we all belong to the Parent-to-Parent Alliance Network. And that gives us the ability as a state chapter, if we have someone seeking a mentor who perhaps has a very rare genetic or a disorder that's unusual, we're able to connect with other states. I know in this grant year, for me, that's already happened, where I had to reach out to another state. And the generosity of the families is incredible. It really is. And I think that's also a great advantage. You know, the same, if I have any questions about things that are going on, I know that somebody in our network is just a phone call away, and I can reach out. And even as a program coordinator, get that extra help. And I think that is a really great hidden resource that we're all able to take advantage of.
I agree.
Should we?
Oh,
Go ahead.
Oh,
I was just going to say that I don't see any questions. We're going to give everyone a reminder that if you do have a question that you either want to type in, or as Karen mentioned, you want to ask in person, please feel free to do that. We've talked a little bit about Iowa beginning to build our program. It's called Parents as Partners in Mentoring. We are currently able to match. We also are recruiting and holding workshops so that we can get mentors trained. And so I did want to mention that we are up and have that capacity. This is a slide that shows some upcoming workshops. We've held 2 already. Those took place in September. We have some dates coming up in Cedar Rapids, and then we're going to try something a little different for us. We're going to hold a training in 2 parts, and they're in the middle of the week on Thursday in Des Moines. If you're interested in these trainings, you can find more information by logging on to our website, which is listed below, www.askresource.org. There's not a cost to attend, but we do need you to register for the training. That helps us make sure we have enough materials available. And also, we know that anytime you go to a workshop, there are expenses for a family, and we offer a stipends to help you with any of those participation costs that might be required out of pocket.
I was just going to say that as the mentor, we are also empowered by taking on that role of supporting another parent. You really get a lot out of it yourself.
Excellent point, thank you. For mentoring information, Ashley Gill would be your first go-to person. Ashley will simply take your information, get an overview of what it is you're what it is you're seeking in the way of a mentor or some help, whether it's a resource or just information. And then in her role here in the office, she makes sure that that gets to me, and I began the process of either making a formal match or getting you connected to one of our community people who might just have some topic expertise and can match you with a resource you need. It struck me as I was talking that we've alluded several times, we do ask our volunteers to go through a training. The reason behind that is that we want to make sure that the relationship of a mentor and mentee is a quality relationship for both people involved. And Parent to Parent USA, our alliance with them, they have research that has shown what sorts of things would be helpful and to include in a quality relationship. And so we make sure that we hold trainings, and through those trainings, we cover topics that we think are important to provide and be available for another parent. I will encourage you that even if you're curious about becoming a parent mentor but not quite sure, you're still welcome at our workshops. This is from our evaluation sheets reported that it's just good information, and if you decide that mentoring isn't quite for you, that's okay. It really, truly doesn't matter. We just hope if you leave a workshop with one piece of information you didn't have before, I am inspired, believe me, because I feel like I've done my job. So we welcome anyone interested to give us a call. Not only are we looking for people interested in becoming mentors, we're looking for individuals who are seeking a mentor, or if you professionally work with a family, think about asking them if a mentor would help and make that referral or support them to self-refer. The final thing I think I would like to talk about too is we're always open to having volunteers here. We are a small staff in Iowa, and we're building that program. So if you have some gifts that you could bring to the table to help us keep our program growing, we also would very much welcome that opportunity and that help to get to know you. So in turn, we can be available and have a robust, sustained network across Iowa. We're going to switch back to Melissa and Marta and Cindy for any last thoughts, words.
No, I can't think, none of us can really think of anything to add. Y'all are doing a great job. We offer trainings also around the state as well. We travel, we're working on webinars. You're ahead of us there for our parent trainings. And we have about 500 volunteers, mentors across the state. And it's really nice because when you do get that rare diagnosis, you want to talk to somebody. And Texas is a big state. They may be clear across the state, but there's telephone and texting and emails and Facebook and Twitter. There's all kinds of ways to connect. And when you are the mentor, you put as much time into it as you feel like you can. I've heard of many families, who are sitting texting from the hospital room because their child is in with a procedure or they're in for illness or, whatever reason. There's all kinds of ways to connect, and you put as much time in as you want. And we always tell our families too that it's not always a good time to take a match, and it is okay to say no because we will call you again.
Yes.
Once you make the commitment, though, it's good to be there for your family because you would want to connect with somebody that you felt like you weren't being a burden, that they really cared.
Exactly. I couldn't agree more with that. And again, the great thing about a network is that we're all helping each other. We're building on others' experiences that states have had, and it just makes all of us better and able to offer quality match. And I love to say, don't hesitate to call us. We pride ourselves on connecting you, even if it's an unusual request. I had one this year. I had a parent who shared that a child with a chronic need was really fighting all of those regimens and medicines and things they needed to take. And believe it or not, we were able to find another same age, well, a little older peer who also had a chronic illness and could really relate to what this child was going through, and not only talked a bit with the child, but was able to give the parent some ideas and some strategies that her parents used helping her learn how to deal with her own chronic illness. So it's wonderful when you have those unusual requests and you can say, wow, I found a resource and I was able to help that family. So that's a great feeling. And I think it was Melissa who said that it is truly part of our, I think, just for me, part of my ability to raise my son, being able to help that other family. It's a good feeling, and it helps me become a better advocate for my own family in a very unique way. And our goal truly is to empower each and every one of the families out there.
True. And I also learned from the families I mentor, you know, the way that they look at life, the way that they handle situations, because what works for my family may not work for theirs. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And back to being able to say no, we all understand. We all have a family who, you know, we all have that family member who puts an extra twist in the family dynamics. And sometimes life happens, and it's okay to say no, because you will get called again, definitely.
I couldn't agree more. We talk about that in our training too. So I think we can simply say, just call us.
Definitely.
All right. Well, thank you. We're going to put up the screen again on how to contact ASK. Again, ladies, I cannot thank you enough for doing this. We really appreciate it. And I am sure we will be in touch down the road about something. And thank you so much for your gift of sharing your family with us today and your experience, and lots of luck. We're following you.
We do have a question.
Yes, one popped in.
Just a moment. A question here. It says, many of us who have been informally mentoring each other for some time started doing a lot of advocacy as well. Has your group done any advocacy work, and how did you manage that transition into advocacy beyond just parent-to-parent mentoring? Do you have any active advocacy groups in your area of the state?
We do. We actually have a mom and daughter team who work at Texas Parent to Parent, who practically live at the state capitol when session is on. And in Texas, we go every other year for our legislative session. And Amy Litzinger, the daughter, has cerebral palsy, and she is up there all the time. Linda, her mom, and Amy, they do advocacy trainings. They help people learn how to navigate the system, how to give their testimony. And yes, I have been up before Senate committees many times advocating for more community funds, for changes in the system. Definitely. We have a very strong advocacy program, I guess you could call it, here.
Great. That's great information. And I know from my own experience, there are never too many families that have that ability to go and share a story with a policymaker. And we've seen that it does make a difference, and it's important work. So bravo.
Right. You can go before Senate committees or legislative committees. You can write letters, emails, make phone calls. There are many, many ways to advocate. And that's not just on your state level, that's local. It's at your child's school, child's neighborhood playground, parks and recreation center for maybe accessible equipment.
And I think, again, just having another person that has had that experience or can share something, or if you have a question, or even just want somebody to review a letter you've written to make sure that it's an effective letter, it's just helpful to have that other person with you, or that other help and support as you as you work on those issues. So I'm sure that's a great help having two very experienced folks. And it's always wonderful as a mom to hear that our children have gotten involved and are self-advocating, because I think for all of us, that's the dream that we have for our children, is that as we've raised them, we've helped them and supported them to be independent as they can be, and empowered young people able to speak out and share what it is that they need out in the community to live a great life, as corny as that sounds. So that's great.
Not corny. Not corny at all. We all want to live a good life.
Exactly. Well, it doesn't look like we have any additional questions, so I think we're going to wrap things up. But thank you very much for spending the afternoon with us. And yes, if any other questions come through, we will follow up at a later date with some answers to those. And I think we're going to wrap things up
Yes.
now. Paula, do you have any last words?
No, if you'd put up the screen again, how people can get a hold of us. My last thought is, please, you will be receiving by email a request to do a evaluation. Please fill that out. That's how we in turn tell our funders that having access to this kind of information is helpful to you, and not only helpful in turn helps you do a better job in your life, feel that empowerment, feel that you have access to the resources that we have out there in the community. So please, please fill out those evals. Feel free to refer people to our program, and again, by accessing our webpage, you will find a variety of information, not only the link to our archived of other webinars, but you will also find the dates and times and places of those upcoming trainings, as well as other trainings we do. Not only do we have our